You're coming with me, now. What's going on? I'm just buying groceries. Don't play dumb. Hands behind your back.
Officer Kevin Russell thought he was detaining a shoplifter. Black man, expensive jacket, backpack, moving through the store without a cart. In his mind, it fit a profile. But when he grabbed the man's arm, slammed him against a refrigerator case, and handcuffed him in front of 24 witnesses, he made a catastrophic mistake captured on 8 security cameras. The man he assaulted was Special Agent Derek Johnson, a 14-year FBI veteran assigned to the Denver field office, who was shopping for groceries on his lunch break. And what Russell didn't know was that every second of the assault was recorded in high definition from multiple angles, that 12 witnesses would provide statements, that the FBI would launch an immediate investigation, and that his actions would cost the city $2.3 million and send him to prison for 18 months. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. And if stories like this matter to you, please subscribe. September 23, 2024, 12:47 p.m. King Soopers grocery store on South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. The midday shopping rush. Approximately 40 customers in the store. 8 security cameras recording continuously. Special Agent Derek Johnson, 38 years old, had been working at the FBI Denver field office since 7 a.m. He had a 1-hour lunch break. He drove to the King Soopers 3 blocks from his office to pick up groceries, bread, milk, lunch meat, cereal. Simple shopping trip. Johnson was wearing dark jeans, a black North Face jacket, and a backpack. He'd come straight from the office where he'd been working on a financial fraud case. His FBI credentials were in his jacket pocket. His service weapon was locked in his car. FBI policy when off-duty in civilian settings. He walked through the store, picking up items, putting them in his backpack instead of using a cart. Quick shopping. In and out. Officer Kevin Russell, 32, was working an off-duty security shift at King Soopers. The store hired Denver police officers to work security during peak hours. Russell had been standing near the front entrance when he noticed Johnson. Black man. Expensive jacket. Backpack. Not using a cart. Putting items directly into the backpack. Russell's racial profiling instincts activated immediately. Security camera 3 captured Russell following Johnson through the store. Camera 5 showed Russell watching Johnson pick up a loaf of bread and put it in his backpack. Camera 7 recorded Russell speaking into his radio. Possible shoplifter. Black male, mid-30s, black jacket, backpack. Johnson had no idea he was being followed. He continued shopping. He picked up milk, cereal, sandwich meat. He put each item in his backpack, planning to pay at checkout. At 12:52 p.m., Johnson walked toward the checkout lanes. He had 6 items in his backpack. Total value, approximately $38. Russell intercepted him in aisle 7. Camera 4 captured the entire interaction. Stop right there, Russell said loudly. His voice carried across the store. Other shoppers turned to look. Johnson stopped, confused. Excuse me. You're coming with me, Russell said, stepping closer. Now. What's going on? Johnson said calmly. I'm buying groceries. Russell grabbed Johnson's arm. Don't play dumb. Hands behind your back. Johnson pulled his arm back instinctively. Officer, wait, I'm FBI. Special Agent Johnson. FBI. Russell laughed. Sure you are. He grabbed Johnson's arm again, harder this time. I have credentials, Johnson said, his voice still calm but firm. In my jacket pocket. My badge and ID. Turn around, Russell ordered. Hands behind your back. Now. Officer, I can show you my badge. Johnson reached slowly for his jacket pocket. Russell's response was immediate and violent. He grabbed Johnson's wrist, twisted it behind his back, and slammed Johnson face first into a refrigerator case. The impact was loud, captured clearly on camera 4's audio. Glass rattled. Milk bottles shook. Other shoppers gasped. A woman screamed. Johnson's face was pressed against the cold glass. Russell yanked his other arm back, forcing both wrists together. The handcuffs clicked tight. You're under arrest for shoplifting and resisting arrest, Russell said. Johnson, face still pressed against the refrigerator, spoke clearly. My name is Derek Johnson. I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Denver field office. My credentials are in my left jacket pocket. I have not shoplifted anything. I was walking to check out to pay for my groceries. Russell ignored him. He pulled Johnson away from the refrigerator and pushed him toward the front of the store. A man in his 60s stepped forward. Officer, I saw the whole thing. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just shopping. "Step back, sir," Russell warned. A woman pulled out her phone and started recording. "This is wrong. He didn't steal anything." Russell pushed Johnson toward the manager's office. Camera 1 captured their walk. Camera 2 showed them entering the small office near the customer service desk. Russell pushed Johnson into a chair. Johnson sat down, still handcuffed, his face calm, but his eyes showing controlled anger. "I'm going to say this one more time," Johnson said. "I'm Special Agent Derek Johnson with the FBI. My credentials are in my left inside jacket pocket. I was shopping. I put items in my backpack because I didn't need a cart. I was walking to check out to pay. You can verify my identity with one phone call to the FBI Denver field office." Russell searched Johnson's pockets. He pulled out a black leather credential case. He opened it. Camera 2, positioned in the manager's office, captured Russell's face when he saw the credentials. Gold FBI badge. Photo ID. Special Agent Derek Johnson, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Russell's expression went pale. He stared at the credentials for 10 seconds. Then he looked at Johnson. "These could be fake," Russell said quietly. Johnson's expression didn't change. "Call the FBI Denver field office. The number is on the card. Ask for Special Agent in charge William Torres. He's my supervisor. He'll confirm my identity in 30 seconds. Russell stood there, holding the credentials, his mind racing. The store manager, Linda Chun, entered the office. "Officer Russell, what's going on?" "Shoplifter," Russell said. But his voice had lost its confidence. "I'm not a shoplifter," Johnson said calmly. "I'm FBI. Those are my real credentials. And this officer just assaulted a federal agent. Should officers verify credentials before using force? Drop your answer below." Special Agent Derek Johnson wasn't just any FBI agent. He was one of the Denver field office's most accomplished investigators. Born May 12, 1986, in Chicago, Illinois. His father, Robert Johnson, was a Chicago police detective for 32 years. His mother, Angela Johnson, was a high school history teacher for 28 years. Derek grew up watching his father work cases, solve crimes, build investigations that put dangerous people in prison. He attended Northwestern University. Full academic scholarship. He majored in criminal justice with a minor in computer science. He graduated in 2008 with a 3.8 GPA, summa cum laude. At age 22, Derek applied to the FBI. The application process took 8 months. Background investigation. Polygraph. Physical fitness test. Psychological evaluation. Interview panel. He passed every stage. He entered the FBI Academy at Quantico in January 2009. 21 weeks of intensive training. Firearms. Defensive tactics. Investigative techniques. Federal law. He graduated in the top 15% of his class. His first assignment, FBI field office in Phoenix, Arizona. He worked white-collar crime, financial fraud, embezzlement, money laundering. For 5 years, he built cases, executed search warrants, interviewed witnesses, testified in court. In 2014, at age 28, Johnson was promoted to senior special agent. He was transferred to the Denver field office. He worked organized crime and public corruption, high-level investigations, multi-agency task forces, complex cases requiring years of work. By September 2024, Special Agent Derek Johnson had 14 years with the FBI. He'd worked on over 200 cases. He'd secured convictions on 137 defendants. He'd never had a single complaint filed against him for misconduct. His performance reviews were consistently rated exceptional. He'd received 3 FBI Directors Awards for investigative excellence. He'd been nominated twice for the Attorney General's Award for Distinguished Service. He'd testified before federal grand juries 47 times. He'd been qualified as an expert witness in financial fraud cases in federal court. He earned $112,000 per year. He owned a home in Aurora, Colorado. He was married to Jennifer Johnson, a nurse at Denver Health Medical Center. They had 2 children, ages 6 and 4. He coached his son's youth soccer team. He volunteered as a mentor for at-risk youth through the FBI's Community Outreach Program. He taught a criminal justice course at Metropolitan State University as an adjunct instructor. Special Agent Derek Johnson had dedicated his entire adult life to law enforcement, to justice, to serving his country. And on September 23, 2024, while shopping for groceries on his lunch break, he was slammed against a refrigerator and handcuffed by a police officer who saw a black man with a backpack and assumed he was a criminal. Officer Kevin Russell had been with the Denver Police Department for 9 years. He joined in 2015 straight out of the academy. By 2024, he was working patrol in District 3, which covered downtown Denver and surrounding areas. He supplemented his income with off-duty security work. Grocery stores, retail shops, shopping centers. Extra 40 to 60 hours a month at $35 per hour. An additional $6,000 to $8,000 annually. And over those 9 years, Russell had been named in 13 formal complaints. 11 involved allegations of racial bias, excessive force, or unlawful detention of people of color. The complaints painted a clear pattern. 2017, detained a black teenager outside a convenience store for suspicious behavior. The teenager was waiting for his mother to finish shopping. Complaint dismissed. 2018, stopped and frisked a Hispanic man outside a restaurant, claiming he matched the description of a suspect. No suspect description existed. Complaint dismissed. 2019, arrested a black woman at a department store for shoplifting. She had receipts for all items. Charges dropped. Civil lawsuit settled for $15,000. Russell received written counseling. 2020, detained a Middle Eastern man at an airport claiming his behavior was suspicious. The man was a doctor returning from a medical conference. Complaint dismissed. 2021, forcibly removed a black family from a public park, claiming they were trespassing. The park was public. Complaint dismissed. 2022, stopped a black driver 12 times in 6 months, always in affluent neighborhoods. Each time claimed the driver fit a description. Complaint upheld. Russell received additional training. 2023, detained a black businessman in a hotel lobby, accusing him of theft. The man owned the hotel. Civil lawsuit pending. 13 complaints over 9 years. 10 dismissed. 1 settled. 1 led to training. 1 still pending. Internal Affairs had flagged Russell's pattern multiple times. One investigator wrote in a 2022 memo, "Officer Russell demonstrates clear racial bias in his enforcement actions. He disproportionately targets minorities in retail and public spaces based on appearance rather than behavior. Recommend intensive retraining or reassignment." The recommendation was ignored. Russell's supervisors valued his willingness to work extra security shifts. He was proactive. He didn't shy away from confrontation. The fact that he was violating citizens' rights didn't seem to matter. Department data showed Russell's pattern clearly. From 2020 to 2024, while working off-duty security at retail locations, Russell initiated 347 suspicious person contacts. Department records showed that 291 of those contacts, 83.9%, involved Black, Hispanic, or Middle Eastern individuals. In a city where minorities made up approximately 45% of the population. Of those 347 contacts, only 23 resulted in actual theft or other crimes, a 6.6% hit rate, which meant 93.4% of the people Russell stopped had done nothing wrong. Russell had a specific profile he targeted: minorities in retail settings, especially those who didn't use shopping carts, who wore backpacks, who looked out of place, in his judgment. 3 other officers had reported concerns about Russell's tactics to supervisors. All 3 reports were documented. None led to disciplinary action. Until September 23, 2024, when Russell assaulted a federal agent whose entire organization has the resources and authority to destroy him. Have you ever been followed or stopped while shopping because of how you look? Type yes in the comments. Russell stood in the manager's office, holding Derek Johnson's FBI credentials, trying to decide what to do. Store manager Linda Chun made the decision for him. "I'm calling the police," she said. "I am the police," Russell said. "Then I'm calling your supervisor," Chun said. She picked up her phone. Russell's radio crackled. "Russell, this is Sergeant Williams. I just got a call from FBI Denver field office. They're asking about one of their agents being detained at your location. What's going on?" Russell's face went from pale to red. He keyed his radio. "Sarge, there's been a misunderstanding." Johnson spoke up, his voice calm and clear. "Sergeant Williams, this is Special Agent Derek Johnson, FBI Denver Field Office, badge number 7284. Officer Russell assaulted me, handcuffed me, and arrested me for shoplifting while I was shopping on my lunch break. I showed him my credentials. He claimed they might be fake. 8 security cameras recorded the entire incident. I'm requesting immediate supervisor response and internal affairs notification." Silence on the radio. Then, "Russell, do not move. Do not say anything else. I'm en route. ETA 3 minutes. At 1:04 p.m., 12 minutes after Russell grabbed Johnson, Sergeant Williams arrived. He entered the manager's office. He saw Johnson, still handcuffed. He saw Russell, standing frozen. He saw Johnson's FBI credentials in Russell's hand. "Uncuff him," Williams said quietly. Russell hesitated. "Now," Williams said. Russell unlocked the handcuffs. Johnson stood up, rubbing his wrists. Red marks were visible where the cuffs had been too tight. Williams looked at Johnson. "Sir, I apologize. This should never have happened. I need all security footage from the past 30 minutes, Johnson said. "All 8 cameras. I need witness contact information. And I need Officer Russell's badge number, full name, and supervisor chain of command." Williams provided everything. He also called Internal Affairs immediately. At 1:17 p.m., Johnson called his supervisor, Special Agent in Charge William Torres. "Bill, it's Derek. I was just assaulted by a Denver police officer at King Soopers on Colorado Boulevard. He thought I was shoplifting. I showed him my creds. He called them fake. The whole thing's on security camera." Torres's response was immediate. "Are you injured?" "Bruised wrists. Face hit a refrigerator pretty hard. I'm okay. Stay there. I'm coming with our legal team. Don't talk to anyone else. We're handling this." At 1:34 p.m., FBI supervisors arrived. Special Agent in Charge Torres, Assistant Special Agent in Charge Maria Rodriguez, and 2 FBI attorneys. They obtained all 8 security camera angles. They interviewed 12 witnesses who'd seen the assault. They photographed Johnson's injuries, bruises on his wrists, a red mark on his cheek where his face had hit the refrigerator. They documented everything. At 2:15 p.m., the FBI notified the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. Federal agent assaulted by local police. Potential civil rights violation. Immediate investigation required. At 3:30 p.m., the FBI held a press conference. Earlier today, one of our special agents was assaulted while shopping for groceries. We are working with local authorities to ensure full accountability. By 6 p.m., the story was national news. FBI agent assaulted by police in grocery store. The security footage, obtained by news outlets through public records requests, was viewed over 3 million times in the first 6 hours. The video showed everything. Russell following Johnson through the store. Russell grabbing Johnson. Russell slamming Johnson's face into the refrigerator. Johnson remaining calm throughout. Russell examining FBI credentials and still refusing to release Johnson. 8 camera angles. Crystal clear footage. Irrefutable evidence. Officer Kevin Russell was suspended without pay on September 24, 2024, the day after the assault. Pending investigation. The investigation took 6 weeks. Internal Affairs, the FBI, and the DOJ Civil Rights Division all conducted parallel investigations. The findings were identical across all 3. Russell had racially profiled Johnson based on appearance. Russell had no reasonable suspicion that Johnson was shoplifting. Russell had used excessive force. Russell had failed to properly verify Johnson's credentials. Russell had violated Johnson's Fourth Amendment rights. Russell had committed assault and battery. Russell had committed deprivation of rights under color of law. On November 8, 2024, Russell was terminated from the Denver Police Department. 9 years of service, gone. On November 15, 2024, the Denver District Attorney filed criminal charges. Bullet operator third-degree assault, a misdemeanor. Bullet operator official misconduct, a misdemeanor. Bullet operator false imprisonment, a misdemeanor. On November 20, 2024, the U.S. Attorney's Office filed federal charges. Bullet operator deprivation of rights under color of law, 18 U.S.C. Section 242, a felony. Bullet operator excessive force, a felony. Russell went to trial in March 2025. The trial lasted 4 days. The jury watched all 8 security camera angles. They heard testimony from 12 witnesses. They heard Johnson describe being slammed into the refrigerator. They heard Russell's pathetic defense that he thought the credentials looked suspicious. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Verdict, guilty on all counts. On May 12, 2025, Russell was sentenced. Bullet operator federal charges, 18 months in federal prison. Bullet operator state charges, 12 months concurrent. Bullet operator 3 years supervised release. Bullet operator permanent ban from law enforcement. Russell is 33 now in early 2026. He's serving his sentence at FCI Englewood. He'll be released in mid-2026. He'll never work in law enforcement again. The video with over 15 million views ensures he'll never escape what he did. But the criminal case wasn't the only consequence. Johnson filed a civil rights lawsuit on October 15, 2024. Special Agent Derek Johnson versus Officer Kevin Russell, the City of Denver, and the Denver Police Department. Charges: bullet operator violation of 42 U.S.C. Section 1983, deprivation of rights. Bullet operator violation of the Fourth Amendment, unlawful seizure and excessive force. Bullet operator assault and battery. Bullet operator false imprisonment. Bullet operator intentional infliction of emotional distress. Damages sought: $2.3 million. The city tried to settle quickly. They knew they had no defense. First offer, $300,000. Johnson refused. Second offer, $750,000. Johnson refused. Third offer, $1.2 million. Johnson refused. This isn't about money, Johnson told his attorneys. This is about accountability. Full damages plus reforms. Or we go to trial and let a jury award even more. The city knew Johnson was right. A jury would award millions after watching the video. Final settlement, November 30th, 2024. $2.3 million plus mandatory reforms. Bullet operator $2.3 million paid to Johnson. Bullet operator Russell personally liable for $200,000, though he'll never be able to pay. Bullet operator mandatory implicit bias training for all officers, 60 hours. Bullet operator independent review of all Russell's previous complaints with apology letters to victims. Bullet operator civilian oversight of off-duty security assignments. Bullet operator body cameras required for all off-duty security work. Bullet operator zero tolerance policy for racial profiling. Bullet operator public quarterly reporting of complaints. Do you think $2.3 million was enough? What would real accountability look like? Drop your thoughts below. The Denver Police Department underwent massive reform. The Civilian Oversight Board reviewed all 13 of Russell's previous complaints. They found that 10 should never have been dismissed. They sent formal apology letters to 11 victims. They offered to reopen civil claims for those interested. 3 of Russell's former supervisors were demoted for failing to address his pattern. 1 retired rather than accept demotion. The department implemented the Johnson Protocol, named after the agent Russell assaulted. Any officer with 3 or more complaints involving racial bias must undergo mandatory retraining and cannot work off-duty security until cleared by civilian oversight. In the first year, 47 officers were flagged. 23 were reassigned. 8 were terminated for refusing retraining. 16 completed training and returned to duty under supervision. The 8-camera security footage became training material in police academies nationwide. The FBI uses it in civil rights training. Law schools use it to teach Fourth Amendment violations. Retail associations across Colorado adopted new policies requiring body cameras for all security personnel and immediate supervisor notification when detentions occur. Special Agent Derek Johnson continued his FBI career. He was promoted to Supervisory Special Agent in June 2025. He now oversees the Civil Rights Program for the Denver Field Office, investigating police misconduct cases. He used $1 million of his settlement to establish the Johnson Civil Rights Fund, providing legal assistance to victims of racial profiling who can't afford attorneys. The fund helped 73 people in its first year. He still shops at that same King Soopers. The store manager personally apologized and offered him lifetime free groceries. He declined the groceries but accepted the apology. He's been back many times. No one has followed him. No one has questioned his backpack. No one has assumed he's a criminal. Officer Kevin Russell is 33, serving time in federal prison, permanently banned from law enforcement, recognized from a video with 15 million views. Special Agent Derek Johnson is 38, promoted, advocating for civil rights, using his experience to fight the exact type of bias that targeted him. The lesson was documented from 8 angles in crystal clear footage. When you profile someone based on race, use excessive force, and assault them without cause, you don't just lose your job. You go to prison. And if the person you assaulted happens to be FBI, the entire weight of federal law enforcement comes down on you. If this can happen to an FBI agent, what happens to everyone else? Type your answer below. What was the most shocking part of this story for you? That Officer Russell had 13 previous complaints? That he slammed an FBI agent into a refrigerator over $38 of groceries? That he examined real FBI credentials and still refused to believe them? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if this story showed you that accountability is possible when evidence is irrefutable, when victims have resources to fight back, and when entire organizations refuse to let injustice slide, make sure you're subscribed. Because we're bringing you more stories where cameras captured the truth, where victims refused to stay silent, and where those who thought their badge made them untouchable lost everything. Thanks for watching until the end. We'll see you in the next one.